Welcome to Mad Men Sports. Look at us.
Fireside chat tonight.
We are really the traveling podcast. I mean, we don't leave the house,
We're all in the same building.
but every week it's something
Basement,
new.
dining room, living room. It's the other half of the living room.
Damn, you got two halves to a living room.
It's a nice house. Also, as nice is the Bills winning in their house today. Fantastic beatdown. I won't beat Jake down, but the Bills beat down the Washington football team.
I didn't get punched at all today.
The Bills beat down the Washington football team today, and I didn't punch him once. Regretfully so.
We won.
We won. Well, so here, there. We didn't get a 50 burger. We
Very
got a
close.
43 sandwich, though. Which is probably the closest we've been so far this year.
It's like a
35.
BLT.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like 35 is a BLT. This had a little bit more meat on it.
Damn, okay.
Scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this win today?
I think it'd be stupid for me to say 10, but I think I'm there. It was the best game that I've ever seen at Highmark Stadium.
That's probably fair. That's probably really fair. I would say an 8. I would say an 8. And there's definitely things that they could improve on. I'm not going to sit here and harp on 8's good. That's probably the best performance I've seen in person of an NFL quarterback that had the Bills jersey on. Seen Tom Brady do stuff like that a couple dozen times. I've laughed before he does the whole thing, but
Yeah.
5 total touchdowns today by Josh Allen. Nothing to sneeze at.
No,
5 total touchdowns. That dude's putting up
that's a lot.
numbers.
That's Mr. AFC Player of the Week.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. I mean, you already said it. We'll get to that. He had 358 passing yards, had maybe 24 rushing yards. I mean, he was a little active on the ground. I think they were effective. Oh, if you could, so we gave out numbers. If you could give us one word, Dave dropped the ball on this one time. If you can give us one word to describe your game experience today, what would you say?
Promising.
Promising. I like that. I would go effective, as I mentioned. I think today they were methodical with their offense for once.
I agree.
Pittsburgh, debauchery. The whole damn thing was just all over the place. Not really how you'd like it. The Miami game left a lot to be desired. We weren't really all there. We knew there was another layer that they could achieve, and we're looking forward to that. Today, I feel like the offense was firing on all cylinders. The running backs were effective. We wanted to see more out of Diggs. We wanted to see Sanders. Sanders got the ball today effectively. Cole Beasley got involved, promisingly. And then Gabe Davis, I believe, only had 1 catch, but you know what? Keep bringing him along, little by little. Towards the end of the season, people were like, "Oh, they were really good with Gabe Davis at all this year," and then boom.
You have
so many
Emmanuel
weapons.
Sanders.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
You have so many weapons. Use them. Use them while you can. Use them, don't abuse them.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. We're giving out 8s. We're giving out 10s. We're giving out promising, effective, completely different tone than the post-Pittsburgh game, and maybe even the post-Miami game where it did a little down on our luck. We asked for 2 people to step up this week, Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds. I would say Josh Allen extremely stepped up. He looked like a different quarterback than he did last week even. Last week he was forcing the ball. This week I feel like he was hitting on all cylinders. He only had 7 real incompletions to the end of the game. He went 2 for 6 for the last 2 drives, and it was all gimmies at that point anyways. We saw Mitch Trubisky play in the flesh for real. Hit a nice run at the end of the game. Always good to get those in.
MVP.
MVP, and play with a guy that's probably going to be the AFC MVP this week. You want to touch on that a little bit? Josh Allen, did you put up enough numbers for the AFC?
I think so. You look at the powerhouse teams of the AFC. It didn't play great. You have the Kansas City Chiefs losing to the Chargers. I mean, if we're talking about the AFC East, no one even close in those games.
No, I don't mean to get sidetracked here. I think the division's over.
Yeah.
Is that too soon to call?
Nope.
I think the division's over. This is like I said earlier today. This is the earliest the Bills have ever.
It was over last week. I mean, I think at that point they'd all played each other. Like the Dolphins beat the Patriots.
Patriots beat the Jets. No one needs to beat the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets aren't beating anyone.
Just by process of elimination on week 2.
And then the Bills hammered the Dolphins. So I think we're in good hands here. I think we're a little nervous after week 1. I think beating the smack out of the Dolphins, okay, maybe the division's all set. Maybe we can worry about the 1 seed. today the Chargers beat the Chiefs. So we now have a game up on the Chiefs. We play them in 2 weeks. Maybe they can lose a couple more times this season. Looking like maybe we can get in the driver's seat for this number 1 seed, maybe. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but those are the things you're watching all season. The division, probably put a bow tie on it, honestly.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
But I say...
But disrespectfully to the other teams in the division.
I would be wildly surprised if Josh Allen doesn't win the AFC Player of the Week.
I think that's probably the appropriate move. Oh, God. The dude balled out. He had, 380 purpose yards, 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns gets the job done. No interceptions, thankfully.
What?
Couple close calls. Always a couple close calls. Both guys, hey, as I always say, both teams get paid.
Offensive line, especially with that front 4, Chase Young seemed...
Jonathan Allen, Marquez Sweat.
Chase Young seemed non-existent.
We talked about him over dinner. We were like, you know what? I don't think I saw any stat lines out of Chase Young after maybe a couple run tackles. Yeah. I don't even think he got a tackle for a loss today. There wasn't a lot of that going around today for the Bills offense.
No, pushed it down the field. And that was our biggest gripe out of the first 2 weeks. The Bills aren't pushing it down the field.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't taking any chances the first couple weeks. And, maybe you don't have to against Miami. You had the game in hand there.
Yeah, but you still gotta
keep them on.
Still gotta do it when the games count.
And I think that's probably where they got away from the winning mantra in the second half of the Pittsburgh game. I felt like they were really complacent with how the offense was trying to get their footing. I needed a couple more positive yard plays and points in order to really get the ball rolling there. So a little disappointing overall, but we're 2-1, and this is good. We got the AFC Offensive Player of the Week in our back pocket probably. Run game, proven. Wide receivers, clicking. Emmanuel Sanders had a fantastic game, 2 touchdowns.
Dawson Knox
has arrived, I think. I think in his role within the offense, he's there. 5 targets, 4 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown.
That touchdown, beautiful.
It happened so fast, I didn't think he'd be in bounds, but he was in bounds.
Yeah, after looking at it fucking 20 times.
A great play. That's a good play. Jake was quick to shoot it out as his best play as a Bill. I quickly reminded him of the Colts game when he caught that RPO play from Allen. But in terms of and he had that angry run. So, there's some really good plays from Dawson Knox. And I think he's starting to flash a little bit more consistently than he was. There was a passing play towards the opposite end of the tunnel end zone, towards the scoreboard, that he was catching the ball at the 15-yard line on a flat route. And I thought to myself, man, I've seen him drop that ball before. And while the ball was in the air, I was like, whew. And then he caught it, and I was like, he's worked on the things. Listen, maybe that tight end thing isn't a fluke. Because he looks really good this year.
That Logan Thomas touchdown was nice, though, at the end of the game.
Good box out method. That's a basketball player making an NFL move. That's all it is. I would rather not have had that, but some fantasy owners, not going to mention names,
myself,
really liked that.
Defense played very well. Took away the ball.
A couple times. Should have had one more, huh?
Should have had one more. That was
a pretty crappy call.
There's
three
penalties.
Two or three brought back.
That 3 penalties on that play.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them should have been.
No, none of them. And I go to this point. I think there's been 2 or 3 interceptions called back this year by the Bills. We had Trey White's in week 1. We have, for sure, the Taron Johnson one that should have been called back. And those are both phantom penalties.
What are you going to do?
I'm trying to think if there was another one. There had to have been something close to it.
Probably.
Miami. Come on. All right. The Bills defense swarmed him. Only 1 sack, but Heineke is probably the best quarterback they've played so far, and he's probably the best quarterback you play up until Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
So in the first month of football, you're playing against the best quarterback being Taylor Heineke. And listen, some people are going to say, you know what? Your defensive stats don't matter because you're playing against bad teams, bad offensive teams, okay? And I will say, everyone's playing against those teams. In a quarter of the season, or not a quarter of the season anymore, excuse me, but the first month of the season, okay? You are pitching shutouts and shutting those guys down against them. Because listen, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the first 4 games you play. You're not playing against good quarterbacks. 5 quarterbacks. That's an eighth of the league that you're up against that you're putting a hurt on. Just be happy for what you are. Listen, even if it turns out that this defense is average eventually, they're doing really amazing things against bad quarterbacks.
It doesn't look like they're playing average. Yeah, sure.
They're above average.
Best defense we've seen in a while.
I think it's the most well-rounded defense we may have ever had.
Especially in that's a big nod to the defensive lineman.
The defensive line played great today. They didn't get a lot of stats.
Pressured well.
They kept the push in the middle, which led to turnovers, which led to rush passes. The Jordan Poyer interception was the most impressive play of the day for the defense, I'd say. Maybe that Milano fourth down stop, but Heineke went through his first route, second route, third route, went through all of his reads, finally went to his last read, but he didn't read it long enough to see that Poyer was coming in to steal that ball, and then that was a perfect play. I thought he could have got a pick six. I don't know what happened.
Came in far away.
Yeah.
He wasn't that close.
He read him well, and that was a testament to the whole defense playing well. He knew he had to get rid of the ball. He didn't have all the time in the world. Had to stay in the pocket because the ends were keeping contained. It was that was probably the best defensive play well-rounded. That fourth down play with Milano where he stops him on the QB sneak and then lays a lick on him. That was cool. That was really good stuff there.
Tremaine Edmonds almost got a pick like you said.
I wanted it. I'm not gonna harp on it.
It was a beautiful play.
No matter what happens with that play, deflected pass, interception. That's the type of plays that Mike Atwood's looking for. That's the type of plays that Diamond Dave's looking for. Though that's the stuff he should be doing.
I think you get a lot of like Starlet Tooley effect with Tremaine Edmonds. He's doing a lot more than what.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about an offensive lineman coming up and block him as often. Yeah. And I'll even go further to say that interception by Taron Johnson, there's a lot less that Edmonds has to think about. Granted, he did get a penalty on that play. I don't think there was a penalty on that play.
Yeah.
But he was able to worry about just covering the guy rather than having to worry. He's got star safety net in front of him. Going to diagnose the play better than almost anyone else on the field.
I guess I should elaborate. I meant his contribution doesn't match up with his stat sheet.
Oh, so you think there's a...
I think he's doing a lot for this defense.
So in the same breath of Starlet Tooley's type of presence. Yeah. I think that his stats do back up himself, though. I think he holds himself up there. I know a lot of people are like stats. You don't want a middle linebacker leading your team in sacks.
No.
You don't want a middle linebacker leading your team in interceptions. Just let this guy be the tackle guy because that's exactly what the linebacker is supposed to do. So went through offense, went through defense. I'm talking about the Dustin Hopkins kick. Listen, we were there. That ball that was a wind. That was all wind. A freak play. You could never see that twice. It like literally stuck up wall. There. Yeah, it stuck up there. It was like going, and then like the wind gust comes in that corner of the end zone. It starts coming in, and it just kind of it started spiraling backwards a little bit. It
was the weirdest thing.
I don't know if the camera caught it. I don't know if the camera will ever catch it. I didn't see the replay yet. That ball, stopped there. I almost thought it was designed, but it's so hard to design something like that when you're kicking it.
That seems like humanly impossible.
Yeah, it got that far, and then all of a sudden it kept getting higher, and then spinning backwards.
Weird. You gotta catch the ball, sure.
You gotta fair catch it, but also, how do you keep a read on
what happened there? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you fair catch, you don't have to worry about getting hit, so just get under the ball, right? So I don't know.
Matt Hack had a good
decent kick. It turned out very well. It might have been a little bit more of the aiding from the wind because the wind was heading towards him. And I'll tell you what, when I talk about special teams, they didn't have the perfect day. They did have a couple of mistakes. I think that Tyler Bass will go down as the greatest kicker in Bills history. I think that dude is money.
Wildly consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Perfectly consistent, I'd say.
But yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he makes plays. He produces points. I don't have one complaint about the guy.
Yeah.
He's in his second year. He's going to be a star. Star in the making.
Anything else we want to talk about?
Let's talk about our diamonds.
Yes.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Do you have Diamond Dave's? I think it's
Diamond in a rough. Diamond Dave's diamond is Emmanuel Sanders.
No
which
surprise.
I feel like is a little bit of a cherry pick because, of course, he's the MVP. 2 touchdowns, 9 or 6 catches. 6 catches, 94 yards. It was a good game.
Yeah,
Great coming out party.
Shout out to Emmanuel Sanders for.
I wouldn't call him much of a diamond, but
last week won an award for donating $20,000 of his own personal money to underprivileged youth in the city of Buffalo.
I didn't mean that he wasn't a diamond. I would say I wouldn't be in the rough. I'd say he's more diamond shining right on top of a ring right there.
Yeah.
Diamond in the rough, I would think. For me, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go Taron Johnson.
Always.
Consistently the best, hot take, has been the best player on defense.
This season?
This season.
I think Milano's pretty close, dude.
Taron Johnson has been killing it this year.
My diamond in the rough is Dawson Knox.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to hate the guy, tar and feather him.
I always liked him.
I think Dawson Knox is starting. And listen, it takes a little while for tight ends to come through, but I think he came through. I think he's on the other side of this thing now.
I fucking hope so.
Listen, he produces when he's called upon. Are we doing a Wednesday show? It's on you. Decide right now.
Yeah.
All right. It's Jacqueline's sister's birthday. We're going to do a birthday podcast. She turns 21, so hopefully Jake will make it to the show. If nothing else, we'll see you Thursday morning. Go Bills, 2-1. Hey, no matter what happens this week, you're 2-1.
About to be 3-1.
Hey, Bills are 17-point favorites against Houston this week.
Which is wild.
A lot of points.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
A lot of points.